Look how quickly he got around there.
And back into the Indian batting lineup today, the 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar, left out of the game against Australia on Saturday.
And he does have a run finally, Tendulkar, and he'll feel better for that as Martin Snedden does the fielding. Here's Gavin Larson now. Single called for, but no. Yes, they do go in the end. Hadley misfielding. Azharuddin went early, then went back, and in the end they got it quite safely. So the 100 comes up in the 32nd over. Forced nicely by Azharuddin. It's a long boundary out there, and they'll have time for 3 as Rutherford did the chasing. And it looked effortless from Azharuddin. He got 3 runs for it. It's nicely played by Azharuddin. That's beautifully timed as Thompson went a bit wide that time. And Azharuddin puts it away to the fence for 4. And that's the Indian innings. Hadley to Tendulkar. Beautifully driven. That's a magnificent shot. 4 runs.
At just 16 years of age, it was evident that Tendulkar had the makings of a special player.
Richard Hadley starting the 39th over. Tendulkar heaving away through mid-wicket. Great Baxter's chasing, but it's well struck. 4 runs. So Gavin Larson now to start his 9th over. Tendulkar slogging. It's in the air. Jones is racing around after it. And good fielding by Andrew Jones. Cuts it down to 2. Tendulkar really charging Larson. Here he comes again. Oh, that really was humming. That's 4. Tendulkar really charging now. Oh, he's lobbed this. That's a clever shot. He just held back and just lobbed it over Martin Crowe and short of Danny Morrison.
It was a clever shot as long as he didn't try and take 2 for it. You've always got the feeling that Tendulkar is just a little bit buoyed up by the occasion, and he's carrying on through emotion rather than from the cold realism of technique. But of course, he's an inexperienced player, a very good player.
Dev adding a bit of sanity to the batting, and that's a lovely shot. That's down to the fence for 4. So India really starting to prosper now in the 40th over.
This has been a very good over indeed for India, with 2 4s and 3 other runs taken from it. And Larson still with 2 balls to go. And remember that Larson has bowled very well. Kapildev, you're seeing there that there was a chance to hit the ball into the biggest gap in the field. So it is a problem for Crowe now.
So it's the youngsters from the respective sides going against each other. 21-year-old Shane Thompson against 16-year-old Sachin Tendulkar. Big hits, falling safely, and it's past Jones, away to the fence for 4 more. Indeed a top shot.
Well, if you're young and you're brave, you deserve to succeed. That was hit over the head of Martin Crowe, who's at fairly deep mid-on, and into the area which was totally unprotected. But really, Tendulkar is just blazing on his now. He's a lovely player, but he's just going for them. And you can see Kapildev there having a word to him, just calming him down, keeping him cool.
Tendulkar's 36, facing Thompson. Charges again.
Or did he keep him cool?
A big edge. Ian Smith takes the catch. Graham Cowans didn't even bother to put his finger up. Tendulkar knew he'd got the edge. Straight through to Smith. And Tendulkar carried on.
Sachin was known as a fine player from the time he was about 14. I think he played first-class cricket at about 15. So he was known around the traps in Bombay for a long, long while before he came through. And his maturity at that age was quite extraordinary. He was wonderfully talented, beautiful technique. I think perhaps he even had a better technique then than he does now. And he just could play every shot in the book. He used a bat which was about £3, had about 5 grips on it. And there's this tiny little fella picking up this hugely heavy bat and belting it around. He was a magnificent player, even at that age, and everyone knew he was going to be a champion.
All players go through that initial phase in your career where you're inexperienced, perhaps a little bit immature, don't perhaps quite understand the requirements of what's necessary to be a quality international player. But I think we all know now that Sachin Tendulkar, next to Bradman, is going to be perhaps the best ever. And he'll break all batting records as far as runs scored in Test cricket, runs scored in one-day cricket, Test hundreds, one-day hundreds, Test 50s, one-day 50s. So he'll break all those batting records, and a real joy to watch. Sheer skill, can play all around the wicket, play all sorts of innings, open the innings, bat in the top 3, 4. So a little genius. You don't use that word very often.
The inexperience of Tendulkar costing India another wicket.
Well, a brave effort from him, but really he should have realised that there's still 9 overs and a couple of balls to go, and that was more like a 48 over rather than a 40 over slog.